She stood quietly at the back of the briefing room, pouring coffee for officers who barely noticed her, until a four-star admiral suddenly stopped mid-sentence, stared at her name tag, and said a call sign no one in that room should have known. In that instant, the air went dead silent. The briefing room at Naval Station Meridian was filled with low conversation and a rustle of classified folders. Maps glowed on digital screens, red markers scattered across the Pacific. Senior officers sat straight-backed, their faces serious, waiting for the Admiral to arrive. At the far end of the room, a young woman moved quietly between the tables with a stainless steel coffee pot, refilling cups without drawing attention. Her uniform was plain, no visible rank insignia, just a temporary services badge clipped neatly to her chest. Most people assumed she was new, or support staff brought in to keep the room running smoothly. Her name tag read L. Hayes, and no one bothered to look twice. She had learned long ago how to be invisible when necessary. Her movements were efficient, her eyes down, her expression neutral. But inside, her mind was alert, cataloging every voice, every word, every shift in tone. When the heavy doors opened and the Admiral entered, the room snapped to attention. Chairs scraped back. Hands rose in salute. The woman with the coffee pot stepped aside, instinctively moving toward the wall. The Admiral began the briefing without delay, his voice calm, but commanding as he outlined a developing situation overseas. Tensions were rising, assets were moving, and time was running out. Questions followed, sharp, strategic, layered with urgency. As the discussion grew more intense, a lieutenant gestured impatiently for a refill. The woman stepped forward, poured his coffee, and turned to leave. That was when it happened. The Admiral paused mid-sentence. His eyes narrowed, not at the screen, but at her. The room waited, confused. He leaned forward slightly, studying her face as if a memory had just snapped into place. Then, in a voice that carried authority and disbelief at the same time, he said, "Sticky 6, is that really you?" The effect was instant. The room froze. Officers exchanged stunned looks. A call sign like that wasn't a joke. It was legendary. Whispers rippled through the room. The woman stopped walking. Slowly, she turned and met the Admiral's gaze. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she straightened her posture, no longer the quiet server at the wall, and answered evenly, "Yes, sir." "It is." Silence pressed in from all sides. The Admiral dismissed the room with a single raised hand. Protests died before they formed. One by one, officers filed out, curiosity burning in their eyes. When the doors closed, the woman finally set the coffee pot down. The Admiral exhaled, a rare crack in his composure. Years ago, in a classified operation that officially never happened, Sticky 6 had been the youngest and sharpest operator he'd ever commanded. She had vanished after a mission went wrong, listed as reassigned, then quietly forgotten. "What are you doing here?" he asked quietly. She met his eyes. "Waiting," she said, "for the right moment." The truth spilled out in fragments. After that mission, she had uncovered something she wasn't meant to, an internal breach, decisions made in secret, lives traded for convenience. Speaking up would have ended her career, maybe worse. So she disappeared into the system, took roles no one questioned, stayed close enough to watch without being seen. Every briefing, every update, she listened. She learned who could be trusted and who couldn't. The Admiral's expression hardened as the pieces fell into place. "You're telling me the leak we've been chasing for 2 years," he began, "is already in this building," she finished. She reached into her pocket and placed a small data drive on the table. Inside was everything, timestamps, communications, proof. Enough to bring down careers and save lives. The Admiral picked it up, his jaw tight. He looked at her, not as a server, not even as a subordinate, but as the operator she had always been. "You planned this," he said. "I survived it," she replied. Hours later, as the room filled again, this time with investigators and high command, the woman stood in full uniform, her true rank restored, her posture unmissable. No one asked her to pour coffee anymore. They asked her questions, and they listened carefully to every word. As she walked out into the evening air, the bass loudspeakers announcing a secure status change behind her, she allowed herself a small breath of relief. She had stayed hidden long enough. The call sign that froze the room had done its job. And somewhere inside the building, people finally understood that the quietest person in a room is sometimes the most dangerous. Closing subscribe invitation. If you enjoy powerful military stories with unexpected twists and hidden heroes, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You're always welcome here. Join us for more stories that remind us why respect, courage, and truth still matter.